and he said that, he wanted to see about getting some financial support for me. When he began to, do the natural processing, he couldn't find anything on me. And then suddenly, he was contacted by an anonymous person who I later on met. This guy, we'll just call him Jim. Jim was someone who takes vested interest in subjects under Mark Ultra. Jim had some contacts, and basically I get a lifetime pension. It's not a lot at all. I mean, I barely get by.
You get a lifetime pension through the military of some sort?
Yeah. But it's funded under the Federal Reserve. And it's broken up into two different divisions. It's paid in two different ways.
So they knowingly take care of you even though you are considered to not exist or be off the grid according to everybody else.
Well, see, this isn't unique with me. Axe deals with the same thing, along with some other people that I know that were part of Mark Culture. See, they want to keep you borderline at like a poverty level so that they can bring you back. Duncan talks about this. In 2008, when I was called back to duty, and this was duty that I was consciously aware of, even though altars were used, I sat down with two generals at Camp Pendleton and a couple of other agents, and I was sitting across his desk, and he, opened up his dossier of me, and that's when I really started finding out who I was, because he started telling me exactly who I was. He said that I came highly recommended, and that, I had scored in the 99th percentile of a special ops evaluation, which I don't ever remember taking. He said that I had scored like a 96 on my ASVAB. I was always told that it was much lower, and a bunch of other things. But then I was having kind of reservations about going back to be part of this, what was being labeled for paperwork as civilian intel. I have it written down somewhere, but it's basically civilian intel Marine Force Recon operations, where we were tasked. I was to put a team together, and we were tasked to do black operations. What I'm getting at is that this general sat there, and when I was hesitant, he said, listen, he goes, you will never have a normal job the rest of your life. This is what you were trained to do. This is what you are best at, and this is the only thing you will ever be able to do, period. And you know what? I have indeed tried to get normal jobs, and I've tried a whole array of things, and once they do the standard background check, they will simply call me up and say that they cannot assist me. Excuse me.
Or they maybe even say that you lied, that your name it doesn't even, it doesn't exist or whatever.
Well, yeah, no, that has happened, yeah.
I got a couple of questions. One, coming from myself, I had explained to you that I had taken the ASVAB myself. Is there any way that I can go back now, or is it safe for me to go to a recruiting office and ask for a copy of that test or the scores?
Yeah, I don't see why. Why not? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm interested because when I did take the test the first time, I think I told you I was taken out to Travis Air Force Base, and there was a definite concern as to placing me into a certain area and getting me involved. But I call it intuition or whatever you want to call it. I had a couple different situations in my life where I was at a poverty level and thought all I could do. I even at one point called the military in a certain situation that I was in and told them, I called the Navy and told them that I would join if they would come get me. And then I thought about it and I hung up the phone and I got out of that area. But I have a lot of interesting stories of my own as far as that goes. But there's somebody in the chat room here who asked a question. I was able to answer the first one. He wanted to know how many alter egos you have, and I said that you were told about 37. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was told. But again, you know, I get told a lot of things.
The second part of that question.
I can tell you real quick that I've had at least a dozen people witness quite a few different altars.
Yeah, and we've even brought that up on the show here. Obviously, Axe and Dave have witnessed several of these different ones, as well as the other people who've seen you alter into the point where the oak table came off the floor and the TV came out of the wall. The other second part to this question is it says, and if you have any other bodies that they put you into and put you on other planets, have you ever been used in a sense like that, where your consciousness or your not your physical body, but who you really are is put, like an avatar situation? Has that ever happened to you in your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, but that did happen with Axe. Axe was part of another project at Pro-C, at Project Seagate Base, where a lot of these soulless beings I refer to, like because a lot of they will make these hybrids that don't have a conscience, they don't have a soul. And Axe was used for that. It is the same technology that they use in some other projects. There's other people I know that were used in that way. To my knowledge, no, but yes.
I can see that being possible with Axe because of her situation that she explained on their last radio show with Duncan, and how she would leave her body and stay close to him physically, but really on another level leave her body and travel down the field of warfare and really explain to him the terrain that he was heading into and things like that. Do you have any information as to how they're doing? I know they're looking for is it a daughter or a son that they have said that they have a child that they want to find that could be a part of these projects?
I am fully aware of the situation, but I spoke with Axe today, and I cannot say what exactly Axe and Duncan are working on for their safety and for the safety of their child. But I will say that, you know, they're safe right now, Axe and Duncan, but, you know, I really can't say anything else about that. There's too much sensitive information that cannot be shared at this time.
Right. I understand that. Thank you for sharing. Joshua O.M., one of the people in the chat room here, he goes by Joshua, capital O, capital M. He says, I'm curious to hear his perspective on the ongoing grassroots ET engagement. Aaron should come up to ECETI Ranch someday for some healing from our friends on the other side. Are you aware of ECETI?
ECE-ASETI?
ASETI, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what it is, ASETI Ranch.
The ASETI Ranch? I have only heard a little bit about it, but I'm not really, I'm not fully aware of what they do there. I'm a little, I've had people invite me to go to these, like, spiritual gatherings and, you know, other things like that just seemed a little bit too cult-based.
Uh-huh. You have to be skeptical, of course.
I have to be very careful of who I expose myself to, because I've had a couple times where I was switched into a more killing altar with people around,